Bear Nation? The rest of y'all, there's a hellacious storm outside, so we're doing this from the inside today. 10JUN22 Bear Brief. Even though it's been 2 years, amazingly, the IRS has recently warned that pandemic-related scams are still stealing identities and money from citizens. This last Monday, the IRS said in a statement that scammers are using fake stimulus checks and fake job offers to gain access to personal information that is then used to file false tax returns or unemployment claims. One Bear National wrote in yesterday, "My background is in information technology, 20 years worth. The job scammers have stepped up their game. It is very difficult to spot some of them now. Their logos match. No spelling mistakes, legitimate-looking job offers, legitimate-looking payments, and they have in-depth research on the companies they are using to mimic. The one that got me was on LinkedIn, and all the names of the people matched that were supposedly speaking to me. A payment I received could not be determined fraudulent by Capital One for over a week. I'll skip all the grief it has caused me and is causing me because it's probably easily imagined." Good morning, everybody. Other intel from throughout the nation, the Bear Nation, paints quite the personalized picture of issues faced throughout the system on a daily basis, stemming from the economic and supply chain issues recently covered here. By the way, intel at bearindependent.com. The Dance Monkeys love the intel. In fact, in this email from the Dance Monkeys, they said, "So many intel crackers, nom nom nom, the monkeys are pleased." So good job feeding the monkeys your delicious intel. They need that to survive. Intel at bearindependent.com. First-hand accounts of intel. And you don't have to write a novel, write what you got. But no links, no videos, no, "Hey Bear, you gotta read this article." No. First-hand intelligence is what we're after here. That's what's going to have the most effect for us going forward, to be able to share here to bring intel to people. So if you have some intel you'd like to share, intel at bearindependent.com. Good morning, coal miner's daughter. Here are a few of the most recent emails received from the Bear Nation. Quote, "Up to 90% of generic drugs are made in China. China. Due to the multi-month lockdown in China and now the 105-day transport time, we are running out of more supplies all the time. We have trouble sourcing lidocaine, normal saline, antibiotics, etc. Every day I work, I get multiple calls from the pharmacy saying they are out of what I ordered, and can I swap for another med? Things are getting real bad. The hospitals are full, but not from COVID, but from other medical issues. We are 46% down on nurses and more leave every day." End quote. Next, quote, "I work in the tire industry, fixing and ordering tires. I cannot order any LP 24.5s from any of our tire store distributors." Those are semi-truck tires, I believe. 24.5s, 22s, and 24.5s are semis. So that's kind of a big deal. The rubber industry is really getting bad. 9 major tire companies have had yet again another monthly price increase. Next, I work for one of the largest HVAC and plumbing supply companies on the East Coast, heating, ventilation, air conditioning. We have customers who have not had heat in commercial buildings since November, as they are still waiting on parts. New equipment orders in some instances are out up to 18 to 24 weeks. Propane tank projected distribution may be spring 2023. We are fighting this battle daily to keep our contractors supplied while trying to keep the supply chain moving. Next, I'm a transport refrigeration technician. We are slammed and backed up due to supply chain issues. Over 30 trailers down here in Knoxville due to not being able to get parts. Loads are being lost every day. next? For the past 7 years, I've worked for a fuel delivery company in eastern Pennsylvania. Since the WTI, or West Texas Intermediate, crude oil, hit its peak Memorial Day weekend, shareholders have been sporadically purchasing fuel for fears of buying high when the barrel price may drop. Although for shareholders this may be a wise move, we have been faced with no heating oil, no on-road diesel, and no off-road diesel for going on 2 weeks. No bueno. Not only for our company, but for our gas stations and truck stop. No fuel equals no food or other things. And our last quote. Quote, just made the trip from Fort Smith, Arkansas to Minneapolis, Minnesota. This is a trip we make twice a year straight up through corn country. I was dismayed to see so many acres of unplanted crops, so many fields covered in corn stalk stubble from last year's harvest. It was substantial, to say the least. So, this is all, it's kind of like an open mic show, like call into the Bear Show at 555-1212 WBAR Bear, right? But this is news from our people out there in the Bear Nation. This is what's going on that they're seeing. So if you have intel that you'd like to send, intel@bearindependent.com. Now, I thought this was interesting. I'm on the mailing list for the World Economic Forum. I'm on their newsletter. I'm signed up on their website for intel reasons, right? For the same reason that I know some of y'all here are scumbags. You're here to collect intel. It's the same reason I'm at the World Economic Forum. I'm a scumbag to them. I'm there to collect intel, right? So, again, there's no such thing as secure communications, especially when you're talking at an iPhone. Doesn't matter if you're calling your friend or you're talking to the internet on YouTube. No such thing as secure commo. But, all that to say, World Economic Forum, I subscribe to them. I do not ascribe to their ideologies, but I subscribe to their propaganda. And they have a propaganda piece out that hit my email box this morning. 6 themes at Davos 2022 that will define what happens next. That's the headline. You'll see that? It says right there. That will define what happens next. Okay. Why is this important? Well, there's a lot of powerful and influential people at Davos, and if they believe this is what's going to define what happens next, I'd like to know what they think is going to define what happens next. So I figured we'd hit the high points here. The first theme, number 1, Ukraine shines a light on the importance of global cooperation. And kind of their big quote from this block of the article is, the U.S. must realize that China's strategic and technical competence has evolved. Diplomatic negotiations must be sensitive, informed, and unilaterally strive for peace, said former Secretary of State Henry Kissinger, which is why it's such excellent diplo-speak. He's had a lot of practice over the years. Basically, this is in my mind, a very gently handed, hey, stop with this Taiwan horse crap. And then Christine Lagarde, president of the European Central Bank, said this is a new dawn for Europe. Yeah, the Ukrainian conflict. Theme number 2, 3 interconnected crises that will define what happens next. Climate, food, and energy. Now, I don't think the climate has anything to do with this, other than like man-made climate change. I think we're in a solar cycle, but that's a whole different story for a different time. But the World Economic Forum thinks that we have 3 interconnected crises: climate, food, and energy. This was a very interesting quote from David Beasley, the executive director of the United Nations World Food Program. Okay? Executive director of the United Nations World Food Program. He said, quote, We're taking food from the hungry to give to the starving. We're taking food from the hungry to give to the starving. If y'all are not stacking food to the rafters, I mean like today, I mean like call in sick and go to Costco and fill up the pickup truck. We're taking food from the hungry to give to the starving. Bro, that's a huge admission. And then Fatih B. Royal, that sounds like a bad rapper, Fatih B. Royal, executive director of the International Energy Agency, said, "We don't need to choose between an energy crisis and a climate crisis. We can solve both of them with the right investment." I think that the best way to deal with the energy crisis is decentralization. I think that every household, as much as they can, should have solar backup or definitely rainwater collection or small-scale wind or whatever. Hydroelectric, if that makes sense for you. Something. I have a video here on YouTube called How to Buy Bulk Beans. I'll tell you this because 99% of you aren't going to do it. There's a company called Trinidad Benham, B-E-N-H-A-M. Trinidad Benham, B-E-N-H-A-M. I'll say it one more time. Trinidad Benham. Use the Google machine. Use your telephone. Make a call. Find a distribution center. Load up pallets. That's who I've used. 99% of y'all, and it's unfortunate, but 99% of y'all will bitch that you don't know how to find the things. I can't do it, Bear. I tell you every day. I've been telling you for years how to do it. Every day. And you know how I figured out how to do it? I picked up my cell phone and I beep, boop, bop, beep, bop, beep, boop, boop, beep with my big ass thumbs. And I found a place called Trinidad Benham. And then I got in a truck and I went there and they loaded it up full of beans. The end. So, at some point, people are going to have to get a little bit better at problem solving. Otherwise, one could make an argument that you deserve what you get. Like, don't be lazy, Bear Nation. Don't be lazy. Now, third theme from the World Economic Forum. This is a big one. Don't use the R word, but it might be coming anyway. What's the R word? Recession. Let's see. David M. Rubenstein, co-founder and co-chairman of the Carlyle Group, had some advice. Don't use the R word. It scares people. He changed the R word to banana. The signs are not as favorable as I would like, but a banana may not be that far, he said, adding that a banana would likely be mild. Dude, grow a pair. It's recession. So Ray Dalio was there as well, talking about patterns in relationships and recessions. Despite geopolitical tensions, the lingering pandemic, and inflation at 40-year highs, leaders are hopeful. I'm not. So, at Davos, they're talking about recession. Theme 4, preparing for the next pandemic requires ending health disparities. No. They are still making the argument that COVID is racist. So, nope. Let's see. Bill Gates, co-chair of the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, on this theme, said everyone, no matter where they live, should have the same access to innovative, life-saving drugs and vaccines. To which I say, Bill Gates, no matter where you are, if you ever come near me, I'm going to put a 1 1/4 ounce slug through your chest with a Mossberg 500. Theme 5, gender inequality and jobs of tomorrow. Backstream Group, banana, monkeypox. Ah, that's an interesting connection. Bro, hold on. What they really mean is, I can fix this. I got this. Hold on, my rucksack is falling over. It's falling off the table. There we go. Y'all stay right there. Don't move. All right. If we're going to talk about the monkeypox. So, what if the monkeypox, right? Like the monkeypox plus the banana, that's actually like how they get us, bro. You know, because the Pleiadians, when they came down from the space helicopter, when they landed and they put the monkeypox, what they did was they hid the monkeypox inside of all the overpriced 9mm from the ammo shortage so that everybody would buy it up. And the reason they did that was so now that you bought it up, they've got like a Trojan horse weaponized, man, so that when the banana comes, because what do bananas do? They feed monkeys, bro. And then when that like explosion of population, this is how you get Gog and Magog. And then that's like the world depopulation that goes into the Deagle report, which is why there's like no more people in North America, man, which is exactly what Bill Gates is after. Because think about it. I mean, like, think about it, bro. He wants to kill everybody. I don't know why he wants to kill everybody, but if you think about it, he just wants to like depopulate the earth because people are bad for the earth and stuff. But you know what I mean? Because like, we want the earth to be good and people are bad, so bad people, good earth. Like if we kill them all with monkeypox fed by the banana recession, then the Pleiadians can come back to earth and take us to the starship where we'll live forever as space unicorns. Right? Right. Okay. Good. Now that we handled that, I don't have a tripod this morning. You've been leaning up against my rucksack. It's been working fairly well. Let's see. Theme 5, gender inequality and the jobs of tomorrow. The jobs of tomorrow. The reskilling revolution marked 2 years of progress benefiting over 100 million workers in the journey to provide 1 billion people with better education, skills, and economic opportunity by 2030. And their argument is that diversity, equity, and inclusion should be at the heart of the economic recovery. That's interesting because scarcity of resources. Hey, let's break the economy so that we can put it back together again the way we want it to be, right? So Hegelian dialectic. By the way, my 15-year-old walked out of her bedroom while I was doing that tinfoil bit and like looked at me and then turned around and walked back into her bedroom. So yeah, good times. She knows her dad's weird. She gets it. But if we break the economy that was working great, right? It was doing great. And then we get to put it back together again. It's like, have you ever played Legos, right? And you build a thing out of Legos. Like you get the manual, right? That comes and it's like, this is how you build a castle, right? And you build a castle and you're like, cool, nice castle, smashed. And you break it all apart and then you're like, I'm gonna build something else. Same pieces, different construct. You can make it whatever you want it to be now. It's the same thing. They're doing the same thing with the world's economy so that they can put it back together the way they want it to be because they believe, remember, this is the World Economic Forum. This is Klaus Schwab's baby, all right? They believe that diversity, equity, and inclusion should be at the heart of economic recovery. No. Equity? No. How about he who does more is worth more? She who does more is worth more. How about the biblical principle of a workman is worth their hire, right? So No, but now we have to have equity. And this is why I think we see the crash landing of the United States economy, because we have to diminish so that we can come down to the same level as every other piece of garbage third world nation, so that we're now equal. We all have the same amount of equity. Yeah, kiss my ass. I don't think I'm going to be doing that. They do. But the thing is, they do. The World Economic thinks we are. And then theme 6, quote, our future is digital. Given the pervasiveness of digital technology in our society, in our lives, in our work, I think it's inevitable to have stronger regulatory regimes around all facets of technology. If anything, I think the responsibility of stakeholders, which is a huge word, stakeholder capitalism is something they love. Stakeholders like ourselves or businesses like us is to both participate and adapt to regulation versus ignore it or expect it to not have regulation, said Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella in a wide-ranging conversation with Klaus Schwab at Davos. Yeah, so this is the direction that they think. So the world's going to be digital, and we need more regulation and oversight of that digital world so that they can control you. 6 themes at Davos that will define what happens next. A recap. Theme 1, Ukraine shines light on the importance of global cooperation, which basically said, hey, be careful with China and Taiwan. Theme 2, 3 interconnected crises, climate, food, and energy. Yes, we're aware of this. And the biggest takeaway out of all this, quote from David Beasley, Executive Director of the UN World Food Program, we're taking food from the hungry to give it to the starving. We are taking food from the hungry to give it to the starving. Bro. Stack food to the rafters. Theme 3, don't use the R word, recession, but it might be coming anyway. It's coming. Theme 4, preparing for the next pandemic requires ending health disparities, meaning that Bill Gates literally says that everybody in the entire world should be vaccinated. Literally. That's what he said. To which I said, nah, I'm good, thanks, brah. Theme 5, gender inequality and jobs of tomorrow. Nope. Theme 6, our future is digital. And because it's digital, stakeholders need more oversight so that they can control who says what. I work for a big tech. They are working on thought control. I believe it. And that, boys and germs, is the brief for today. I've got to drive to, good morning, everybody. I got to drive to Tennessee. Are you from Tennessee? Because you're the only 10 I see.
I've heard that one.
You've heard that one? Do I got to punch some boys at your school or something? Because I'll do it. I'll do it. Anyway, we're going to the Self-Reliance Expo in Camden, Tennessee this weekend. So we'll be there. If you want to come hang out, come hang out. And it's going to be time to get on the road here shortly. Thank you for watching the show. If you're new here and you like the shenanigans, subscribe, ring the little bell icon. That way YouTube will pretend to notify you when we go live. If you're not new here, share this out to people who need to see it. Shout out to the patrons. Thanks for supporting the show. There's a link in the description every day down in the doobly-doo, right down here, like this. And you can find us on Patreon. We've been talking about home distilling this week. Basically, how to make moonshine. Don't tell YouTube, but we're making moonshine. And anyway. You guys know your promo code at Refuge Medical for free shipping on everything in the store is Bear Nation. And please use the promo code. That way they know that y'all watch this dumb show. And yeah, handmade, made in America, guaranteed forever. 42 lives saved in the last 2.5 years. 42 lives saved. Couldn't have done it without you. Y'all are incredible. Thank you for supporting Refuge Medical and Refuge Training. A few remaining dates at Refuge Training. So, you know the drill. Get on there, get trained, learn how to save a life. And lastly, Grindstone Ministries. Bless y'all. Bless every one of y'all who supports us at Grindstone Ministries. We've got 1 adult female and 6 juveniles in our care right now, and we could not. Bro, there's no words. Yah's badass, and so are you. They could not do this without you. So we've got people for Caleb House without having a Caleb House yet. So believe me, it has accelerated my timeline and lit a fire under my ass. So anyway, I appreciate y'all, Bear Nation. Y'all have an absolutely fabulous day. Keep your tinfoil handy in case they start feeding the bananas to the monkeypox. You never know, bro. You never know.